Hello and welcome. It is Saturday morning. You know what that means. Say what's up to your boys, the Comics Pals, if you are watching live on Twitch. The gang's all here. We got Marco,
Morbin.
Kale,
What's up, hot dog?
Tyler.
Sorry, the comedy Death Ray reference really got me. That's a pre-comedy bang bang. Yeah. Wow.
I don't think I can do that like legally.
This noise that just happened between you guys right there made my brain go haywire. I don't even know what I just heard.
Cal and I were just on the same wavelength there for a second. I dig it.
That was crazy. And I'm your ever-present, ever-loving host, Sean. But
What?
We're talking about
I've
butts?
got a beef, Matt. I've got a beef, Sil Stevenson. I've got a beef, Harris. And the beef is you guys fucked up.
What?
Yep. Internet.
Yeah, I wasn't even here last week.
Internet, you three, internet, everybody, you guys screwed up. Because Sony, they got your message about
Hell
Morbius.
Yeah.
They got your message. And guess what? Guess what?
Hold on, Sean. Before you get a little angry, I think you have a highlighted message you have to read.
And you got to read it.
If you think
the man paid. The
If
man
you
paid it. We
think-
got paid this week.
all right.
And you gotta.
You're the one who
vote, too.
always want to be the one that reads the highlighted messages. So
Wait, I don't always want to read the highlighted messages.
This
And
one is
also,
specifically asked for you.
Tyler, you have read many highlighted messages.
That's true. I usually read the ones that I don't want you to read.
Oh my god.
Really get into it, Sean. Really get into it. You gotta sell it.
Oh, all right. I'll do it right now. Here we go. This is for you, Matt. This is my commitment. All right. So Matt says, Sean, please read this, and I will read it now. It's Morbin Time.
No, it's
Oh
it's
no,
not
he
what
said,
it is.
I read the stupid image. Oh my god.
Jeez.
All right.
You gave that
I'll
away
read what
for
he
free.
wrote.
Jeez.
No, I'm not reading that. Never
Oh,
mind.
come on, Morb.
Oh my god. There you go. You got it from Kale.
It's way too early for this, guys.
Listen. The internet screwed up because Sony now believes that we want more Morbius. And now they are bringing Morbius back to theaters.
Oh,
We did it,
word!
boys.
Finally,
They're
I can
bringing
see
it back to theaters. 1,000 theaters will now have to suffer by hosting this movie that no one's going to go see. And if they go see it, we're even more fucked. They're going to greenlight a sequel.
We're more befucked.
It's going to happen. We have to let it die. Let the past die.
It's not the past. This is the present and the future. Is what that is.
No.
It's evolution.
No. We can't let this happen. It's too late. And guess what? It's even worse because do you want to know what the #1 movie trending on Netflix was as of 2 days ago?
Is it Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I
Yeah.
read this script, guys.
I haven't even.
Sean, before we get into
Last
Amazing
time I
Spider-Man, I
watched.
just want to make a little announcement here. My new podcast, Morbin by the Minute, where I will be talking Morbius minute by minute. I'll be talking about every minute in Morbius.
Yeah, joined by
I'm
Marco.
like 75% joking on this.
This was
So
a
if-
real
if-
pitch he brought to us.
Yeah. I brought this to Matt too, and he told me for my mental health I should not do this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw it out there. See if there's enough fervor for it, lust, hunger. What does Morbius feel?
This cannot be Comics Pals.
Constipated.
There's just no way. The
It would not be on the maid feed. Don't worry.
The only thing we can do, Morbius related, is if we do a. Why would I even say this?
Go
Shit.
ahead. No, keep going.
Now you have
Keep
to
going.
say it.
Like a community watch.
That could be
Yeah, that would
fun.
be fun.
Yeah, that could be
That
fun,
would be
actually.
fun.
I've not seen it though. I've only seen it in that supercut where it was just sped up into to fit into a minute. That's.
I've only watched the end credit scenes, and those sucked.
Oh,
really
they were so
bad.
bad.
It's a phenomenal film, gentlemen.
I've only seen the Matt Smith vampire dance.
Listen,
Oh, I've seen that too. Yeah.
Listen,
maybe I almost want
chat.
to watch it.
Sylv and Harris are saying that they haven't done anything involving Morbius on the internet, so you guys are excused. I'll give you that. But everybody else, this Morbin by the minute, all this crap,
It's a great idea.
it's
probably my
bad,
best
and there
idea.
will be a Morbius 2. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna greenlight a sequel. Sony is getting the wrong message.
And we'll,
Listen.
Tyler, we're gonna have to time Morbin by the minute because you have
It's
essentially
141 minutes.
You have 140 episodes worth of content at that
I know
point.
that's content
So we,
right there.
we have to plan that out, right? If it's weekly, daily, like to
we'll
lead up.
We'll
to
get
Morbin
to.
2.
It's 100. Say if it's one a week, we'd probably be seeing Morbius 3 at that point.
One can
Oh
only
my
hope.
god!
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. The problem is now Jared Leto has tweeted the thing. He made the joke with a Morbius 2, it's Morbin Time script. Guys, I'm sorry. It's not Morbin Time anymore.
Jump
Jared
the bat.
Leto is in on the joke. I don't want to do it anymore. It's done.
As soon as Sony, Jared Leto get involved in this, now it's just
Listen, if it's Sony, I don't give a shit. Let the superhero genre die. Jared Leto is a piece of shit, and he should feel bad all the time. He should not be in on the joke.
it's not even funny anymore. It's never been funny. This
I think it's
shit
pretty
sucks,
funny.
and I'm tired
I
of
think
it.
it's
And we're
pretty
not
funny.
talking about Morbius on this podcast anymore. I just
Morbius-
wanted to put that out there that the reason that we're gonna have to suffer through a Morbius 2
Uh-huh.
is you guys. I just
never
want
paid
you to
for it.
know. I have never tweeted about Morbius. I don't even want to talk about Morbius. If it wasn't for this dumb podcast, I would never utter the phrase Morbius ever in my life. But I have to, and I won't anymore. I'm
things.
drawing the line at Morbius.
Two things
Thank
real
you.
real quick.
Thank
Two things. Morbius, really cool name. I think we can all agree on that. It's a fun little
Nope.
name.
No,
Also,
I don't even agree with
It's always-
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Morbius 2,
Since the Spider-Man cartoon, there's been a dumb name for a vampire.
they need to get a famous director out of retirement to direct Morbius 2. And I think
Ooh.
it's Tommy Wiseau.
Oh,
I think a
God.
Tommy Wiseau directed
I'm out.
Morbius 2.
I'd be in. Yeah.
I would be
Then
so in.
it could be Morbin Time.
It would be Morbin Time at that point.
Yeah.
I can't handle this.
Have you guys noticed Mr. Tiny Corndog is back?
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yes.
he's just throwing his tiny corn dog on there.
What's up?
I'm here for it.
Mr. Tiny
all
corn
right,
dog. He's got a collection of emotes. So
Sean, you know who I blame?
Oh,
Felicia.
all right. See, jokes about the animated series I can get behind. The movie, and even that, no, we can't do that. We can't
Dude.
talk about it.
I saw
The
it
worst
deleted too.
part-
He said Morbin.
yeah, he did. Yeah. The worst part is after. So I just moved and I've been going through my boxes and I've been going through my comics. I have all of the comics of Amazing Spider-Man right around the time Morbius. Like I have first Punisher, I have first Silver Sable, I have first Black Cat, and I have second Morbius and third Morbius. I do not have the fucking first Morbius. It eludes me. So I have a Grail now, and it's Morbius.
Have a white whale.
I have a white whale, a very, very pale white whale, and it's first appearance of Morbius. So
Oh my god, I thought I knew you. Listen,
it's literally just to fill in my collection. It's literally like the one issue that I'm missing out of like a whole.
you'll
stack.
live.
I want to unlive really as Morbius, the
There you
living
go.
vampire.
You walked into that one.
Listen, I'm not even going to respond to that because.
Are you at least
we're not
excited for
allowed
the love of Amazing Spider-Man? Is that
to. No,
okay? All right, just asking.
No.
Andrew Garfield, he's
I-
going
I-
through
I-
a renaissance.
no. You know why? You know why I'm not? Because they're not going to greenlight Amazing Spider-Man 3. They're going to greenlight Morbius 2. Then they're going to say, "Wow, people really love villain movies that don't feature or tie into Spider-Man in any way." So, what should we do next? Let's think about it. Oh, hey, people really love Shocker, right? We should do a Shocker movie. Imagine
I've seen that one. It's about 6 minutes, and about like the 4 minute and 30 second mark is the good stuff.
we're already in that era though. Like Venom unlocked that.
That's different though.
We have a
We're getting
Craven
Bad
movie
Bunny
with-
movie where he's the wrestler or whatever
El
the fuck.
Muerto.
Like we're there.
This is hell.
I say that was for the clout, but
We could get our White Rabbit movie. You know, I know you were into that one, Sean, when you read an Amazing Spider-Man. What if we get into White Rabbit?
I didn't really say anything about White Rabbit.
That was
Marco
me.
did.
That was me.
Yeah, okay.
let's attribute the right people here. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. Apologies.
All right, listen, we got to get the rest of this show on the road, but I just wanted to throw that out there. No more Morbius on this podcast as long as I'm here.
A
Can't.
Morbitorium.
All right.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Marco. That was
That's
pretty good.
funny. All right. So if you want to support the show, there are plenty of ways you can do that. We thank you all so much for tuning in. If you want to watch the show live, you can do so by tuning in at twitch.tv/thecomics every single Saturday at 10:15 Eastern, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. Patreon.com/thecomics is the absolute best way to support the show. For as little as $3, you can help out your boys and show them some love. I do want to shout out the Patreon pals who are keeping the lights on. These are the people who have subscribed at $10 or more, and they get a cool name and they join the Palsverse. So thank you so much to Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, the Night Stalker Harris Najinski, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Julissa the Jaguar, and Random Rocio, the Courageous Kunaladas, Kefis the Incorruptible, the Great Destroyer Hyper Viper 89, Momentum Mike Elliott, Starcross Catherine Stars, and Indestructible Indy Aaron. Thank you to every single one of you. Up on Patreon this week, we do have Kale's second edition of the newsletter.
That's right. I couldn't think of anything else to write, so I thought about the thing that I think about the most, and it's what toys I'm gonna buy,
Ooh,
or in this case, probably not buy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
What?
Yeah.
I really expected to get yelled at because of how bad it was.
Why would you get yelled at? What the hell?
Because that's the world I live in my broken brain.
Goes to the punish box.
Oh, I know that, Kale. Wait till you see my fucking newsletter coming up this week.
I'm gonna do a newsletter about toys. You can't do that, man. They're gonna hate you. Don't do that.
Oh, we have a highlighted comment from one Matt Murphy. It says, "Wow, I can say this now, Tyler." After that comment, therapy.
It's because I always say that to him. I have this meme that I have saved in my favorites on my phone. That's like, it's the Simpsons bus driver, and he says, "Don't make me point at the sign," but the sign just says therapy. So I just send that occasionally.
That's
Guys,
fair.
Therapy is good for everyone. I recommend it for everyone. If you can do it, do it.
You know what else you should do? You should subscribe to the Comics Pals on YouTube. YouTube.com/thecomics-pals. Like the video, share it with your friends. All that stuff's free to do and helps us out a lot more than it costs you. Our Uncanny Avengers book club is coming out this Tuesday, and that was fan voted. So thank you to the fans for voting for me, not Rick and the whole creative team, just me.
In particular.
Yeah, thank you.
You just call him Rick at this point? Yeah, friendly.
First name basis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy.
When he finally came around to Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, Rick called him and said,
back
"Hey,
in the
listen,
good graces."
we're on first name basis now."
Whoa, you and Rick are not.
Mr.
I think
Remender.
you'll find we are.
I've been to Seattle. I've seen him.
Oh, okay.
It was me and him and Tupac. We smoked weed together. Anyway.
All right.
So let's get into some listener comments. We've got a couple, and they're meaty. So go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, Mr. Meaty himself, Dan Trudeau, on episode 292. I really enjoyed the topic this week. Great show. As you guys said, you can't judge anyone's best of list, but that one smacked of serious pretension. I loved your... Hold on, before I get anywhere. You can't judge, but I'm gonna judge this one. I like
This is
the,
also, by the way, sorry, in reference to last week's main
Yeah.
topic.
I like the energy getting there, Dan. I loved your points about high art versus low art. I've always believed those are false distinctions. There are acclaimed literary works put on a pedestal today that will be forgotten decades from now, while people will still talk about Batman and James Bond. How can you compare The Godfather to Airplane, or Mouse to Batman, or The Great Gatsby to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Laughing and having fun is just as valuable as an experience as crying your eyes out. I think it's best to do the best superhero books or the best graphic memoirs. There's enough different flavors within those categories alone to struggle with determining which are the best, and you're more likely to introduce someone to something they like. And I know it makes a lot less good of a headline, but I really prefer labeling it my favorites versus the best. It's more honest.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I think that, and that's the word that I didn't want to use last week. It's pretentious. Look, I think there are a lot of people that think comics are, BS for kids or for adults who are in arrested development. And I'm not saying that's not me, but I am saying that doesn't mean that comics aren't good or that there aren't amazing comics or that comics don't have value. Like what's the inherent value of books, regular books versus comics? Like there are plenty of quote unquote trashy books, right? Not all books are just these incredible works of art because they're books. Not all movies. We just talked about Morbius. Like, come on, let's be real. There's nothing inherently low or bad about comics in comparison to any other medium. And so I don't understand why comics is the one that we treat like it's for kids and doesn't have any value. And the only way it's okay to talk about it amongst people who don't read comics is to talk about the high art comics. That's bullshit to me.
My opinion is that those books, no matter the book, will still just become kindling for the fires that warm us in the post-apocalyptic world. So there's no real difference.
I do think maybe the better title for that list would have been most influential to a certain degree. I think, or at least that should be put in the conversation because the books that were on that list, for the most part, with the exception of like Inuyasha or something, are very influential. A lot of stuff, think pieces and whatever have come from Mouse and Persepolis and Fun Home.
And Miss Marvel.
Even Miss Marvel.
Oh, I was bullshitting.
I mean, like it or not, it's influential.
So in what way? What influence?
I think Miss Marvel has a lot of influence, honestly, especially the modern readers or the more younger readers. It's a big fucking deal.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying, what does it influence?
I'd also like to know the age of the person who wrote that list too. I was listening to your guys' discussion, and I think knowing an age of the person who wrote it would be illuminating, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. And, again, we're not judging the list.
No, I was gone for, so I have thoughts, but I wasn't there for it, so that's on me. I was in a truck,
Kefis says there are things that only comics can do, and I think that's a great point as well. Like, why would we talk about the industry this way when it's unique? It's different, it's special, and we don't treat it like that. And I don't understand why.
One thing that we hadn't talked about that I was thinking about it was stuff like Drawn and Quarterly and Fantagraphics, where those inherently have like that built-in audience of, well, we're doing auteur-driven stuff, or we're doing capital C kind of comics, and there's a different sort of snobbery, I think, there for people who I feel like frequent that kind of those kind of publishers, but at the end of the day, it's just comics, dude.
Yeah. As you say that, I look up to my copy of Chris Ware's Building Stories. That's on my
yeah,
shelf.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Which is like the definitive thing. So
I saw that on your shelf.
I got that for $5. It was on clearance.
I bet you did.
Yeah. It's very good though. It is good. It's just weird.
Michael DeForge, drawn and quarterly, some weird ass shit.
Should I get to this next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. All right, so Nihilus on Discord, who inspired the last week's discussion, so thank you, Nihilus. I think you guys should do an episode where you discuss the top 5 best use of the comics medium, or top 5 most influential. Are those the same? I don't know. I know it's a bit of a sin to say best of comics and not include Claremont and Morrison. Same with Frank Miller. I think you could hand Born Again or All-Star Superman to anyone, and they would find something to enjoy. Especially All-Star. That book is so cinematic and just awe-inspiring.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think it would be interesting to do that kind of list, like either one of those. And I do think they're different. I think the best uses of the medium aren't necessarily the most influential. They could be inspired by something influential, and then they took it all, they took the ball and ran with it. And obviously creators have, in some instances, more tools available to them than they had before, to do things that they just couldn't. But look, I to me, I think if you're going to talk about the best of the comics industry, there are certain names that have to be on the list, or it's weird. And we talk about everybody's list being valid, but if you've never, even that has subjectivity to it, right? If you've never read Grant Morrison and you did not come up during Grant's time, if let's say you just started reading comics right now, like within the last 10 years, and you've never read a Grant comic, would you include one of their works on your best of list? No. Is it less valid? I don't know.
I would like the idea of best use of the medium though, because like some things that like jump out to me is like Watchmen for use of the 9-panel grid, or the silent issue of Hawkeye, where it's sign language, which is something a physical, like a novel can't do. I'm trying to think of maybe not best of, but a very, very interesting. It's Echolands, the current J.H. Williams book, where it's landscape, which I thought was very, very interesting, and it has pull-out pages, and it's very interesting use of the medium. But like that is an interesting list that I can see, but I don't think it's the same list. I don't think it's the same as
No way.
top 5 most influential. I hate that Watchmen always ends up on any of these lists, no matter what. It's because I love the book to death, but it's like, come on, it's like the original 3 Pokemon starters. Like they just fucking show up in every game. Like I don't need another evolved form of Charizard. Like Kale, you with me?
Yeah, for different reasons, I think. But yeah.
Matt says Grant's modern work is too much. Hey, maybe so, but like historically speaking, if I'm doing a top 5, Grant's there.
Few books.
Top 10, Grant's got to be there. Frank's got to be there. There's just certain creators. But then someone might say, oh, well, how could you have a top 10 list without Jeff Johns? And then I say, well, talk to me about Jeff Johns' opinions about Cyborg and then get back to me.
They're going to say about black people in general, but
I mean, all right, that too. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Thank you both for writing in. Really appreciate it. And maybe we'll do that. We'll do that down the road. I think I couldn't just rattle off a list like that. I would have to really think about the best uses of the medium. I don't have any immediate examples. Watchmen would have been the only one that I can think of. And then most influential, again, is really tough. I don't even necessarily feel qualified to answer those questions, because that's such a limited box that I think you really have to bring your knowledge and bring your stuff, and you really have to think about it. So I'm not even sure I can answer those in a way that would be satisfying.
It's also evolving too. Like I bet you a decade from now, people will say Tom King's vision is influential. As
I would say it now.
Fair.
Well,
yeah. I think it's
influential.
I think it needs time for influence.
Yeah. I don't know about influential. Sylv Stevenson says, I think Tinian does good doing creative things. I think Tinian is one of the wizards I think Tinian's getting to that place.
Like Chris
The
Jericho.
Closet, like Jericho, yes. Like the Closet. I don't know if you guys read that this week. The Closet #1. Wow.
Pretty sure I did.
You guys, yeah, but I just I said it on Pals Polls, but I just think Tinian's becoming a master, and it's beautiful to watch. I don't think I've gotten to see this before. I don't feel personally that there's another creator who's come up since I started reading comic books who I think has gotten as far in skill as Tinian has. I really don't. Personally. I think you know there are obvious names you would mention. You would mention Snyder, you would mention King, and you would mention maybe Bendis. I would not say that I think those creators are on Tinian's level. Not even Snyder, not even King.
I think Snyder's sort of taken stars falling a little bit in terms of
Scott
the
Tober
output.
flopped.
I don't know. I don't know if that's Scott's fault, but it's just because of the kinds of stories that Scott tells. Like they're great, but they're just not pushing it. I think Tom pushes it, but for me, Tinian has never missed, and also is challenging himself all the time, and challenging the medium to some degree. So I think that's impressive. But yeah, do you guys have any like thoughts on that? Anyone you would name as a counter to what I said?
It's like a modern master. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, someone who's become a master or is on that journey since you started reading.
Okay. It's a good question. I've seen people always on the cusp, I feel. You know, like I think Jason Aaron was at a certain point on the cusp. I think Chip is on his way. Chip don't miss
Chip's
right
good.
now.
I was gonna say Lemire, but
That's
I
a
feel
good
like
one, Chip.
Lemire doesn't have the same standing with like big two books. A lot of mostly Image and some indie stuff.
I feel like Lemire's been in a really good position for a while.
Yeah, but he's only ever there. Like he doesn't like, move beyond that upper echelon.
I think
Mark
we're only,
Russell.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
It's pretty
Oh,
good.
God. I just gave
Mark
my friend Flintstones Volume 1. So
Nice.
I think we're at the
so good.
beginning of Rom V's sort
Sure.
of whole career. I think he's gonna do some cool stuff, and I think I'm really excited about this upcoming. Is it Detective that he's doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool.
Rom is ascending for sure, and I think Mark Russell's a great call out. Chip's a great call out. We'll see how their careers continue to develop. I just feel like Tinian he's just in that spot right now where it's like his ideas are amazing and his delivery and execution is phenomenal. Like, go read The Closet. I really feel like you need to give that a shot.
I agree with Kefis and Tom Taylor, but they need to give my dude like the book. Like they need to give him an actual big title for him to really cut his teeth on, because like he has Superman and Nightwing, which are close, but beyond giving him the external, like, you know, make your own universe or make your own world and that kind of thing, he's not there yet either.
With my question to you, and it's not a challenge, it's just a question. Would you say that if Nightwing's art wasn't so good, like how much of the and I think Tom Taylor's real good, but how much of the like praise that he gets is surrounding the art that's so good in the books that he works on?
I don't think it's just that. He definitely has like his narratives are fun. He's driving the characters. He's developing them. I've been enjoying his character work as well. Like the will they won't they of the barber relationship. There's stuff there. I like it. I don't think it's just the art.
For me, I've read a lot of Tom Taylor. I pretty much read any Tom Taylor book that's come out in the last 5 years or so. I would say starting with his Wolverine run, his Laura Kinney Wolverine.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
I've read every Tom Taylor book. I've read the Injustice stuff. I've read the the Marvel Dark Ages, the current Dark Knights of Steel, Nightwing, Suicide Squad. Like, I've loved it all. And, like, it's good art on each of those books. But, like, the common factor there is Tom Taylor. So, got to be doing something right.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of doing something right, I hope that you did something right with this game that you put together for us today.
Sure. So I'm calling this game Scene Chewing. So this is going to test you guys' oratory skills.
Okay.
Figure it's this is a podcast first and foremost. So let's make something a little more audio based. So the way this works is I need each of you to pick a number from 1 to 3. You guys got to figure it out between yourselves. Who wants 1? Marco wants 2. Okay. Kale, you want 3 or 1?
3.
All right. Well, Sean, you got the one I was hoping you get. All right. So Sean has 1. So the way this works is I'll put 60 seconds on the clock. I need you to explain the story of the prompt I give you. Here's the thing. You cannot repeat a word. Outside of like is, the, and those basic words, fine. But you can't say Spider-Man twice. You can't say Peter Parker twice, or if you say Peter Parker, you can't just say Peter afterwards. So you can't repeat words. You also cannot hesitate. If the other two hear you hesitate or hear you repeat a word, they can buzz in, which you just say your name. I'm literally stealing this from Quizlemania, who stole it from a British TV show. But if you correctly challenge, and I can say, yep, I heard him repeat a word, or yep, that was a hesitation, or if you just go off topic completely, they can call you out for being for straying from the topic. Like if the topic's, I don't know, All-Star Superman, and you start talking about Booster Gold for some reason,
Sure.
then you can call in. So if you correctly challenge, then you have to take over and talk about this topic.
From where the person left off or your own.
Yeah, so if they left off at 30 seconds, then you have 30 seconds on the clock to keep talking about it.
And you also can't repeat the words that they already said.
You start off from scratch. It's almost impossible to do it that way. Yeah. But whoever is left after the end of the 60 seconds gets the point.
Okay.
Boy.
If that makes sense. It's a lot, but as you get into it, it might make sense. Maybe. So Sean, you have the first prompt.
Okay.
And it's Marvel Civil War.
Whoa! Wow! Okay, so let me. Yeah.
Do you need any clarifying questions?
Yeah. So, when you say you cannot repeat words, you explained how that relates to individual character names, but how does that work in relation to, in this case, Avengers or Civil War or school children or
Can't repeat those.
Can't repeat those.
Nope. You can repeat what is in the name. So you can say Civil War multiple times if you need to. But then you don't overdo it, because then if you're just repetition, then somebody can call out. Like if we just keep saying in Marvel Civil War, also in Marvel Civil War, there's also a Civil War, I would challenge you if I were the other two. But like school, no, you get one time to say that. Like I'm literally talking like connector words, the, and, is, as. Those are the only ones you can repeat.
All right.
Just let me. Any other questions?
So my responsibility is to explain what Civil War is and what happens in it.
Yep.
Okay.
Where you decide to go in that is up to you.
Okay, and then last question: am I allowed to talk about like the context of the story outside of the story, like what was happening around it in the world, what it was inspired by, blah 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 blah?
I want you to tackle Marvel's Civil War.
Gotcha. All right. I will give it my best shot.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay. And Marco and Kale, if you want to challenge, just say your name. Okay. And I will pause the time. All right.
Their own name?
Yeah. So Marco would say Marco, Kale would say Kale. Just I don't have actual buzzers. I would, if I can mail you guys buzzers next time, maybe I'll do that. But
All right, fair enough.
All right, so here we go.
So, Civil War is my favorite superhero event. And the reason is because it's the only event that I've ever read that feels as if it's touching home. It feels like it connects to our real lives. So, Civil War features, well, it starts off with a school exploding. And this is an event that happens as a mistake from young superheroes who are trying to stop a crime, a supervillain crime. It goes wrong, the school explodes, and we lose several children and parents and all that kind of jazz.
Wait, Marco.
This
Marco,
So
all
he,
right.
he said event 3 times, and he said school
he did.
twice, I think.
He did. Yep. He
Okay.
did. Yeah. All right, Marco, you have 15 seconds now.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I don't like this.
Marco, you got 15 seconds. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There's a disagreement between two of the main Avengers here and break out into factions, one led by Captain America and another led by Iron Man, in which they each bring in different
Yep,
heroes.
that's it. Marco, you snagged it right there. That's a point.
That was what was left of Sean's time.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you have to make it the full time to get the point.
This game is my nightmare.
Yeah, but Sean can get a point from you guys. It's almost easier to get points from other people than it is to get your own point, if that makes sense.
I hope the next one's something.
Yeah. So yeah, you did. You said event 3 times. You said school twice. No hesitation and no deriving away from the topic. So that's good. That's good. So you got the point there. All right. So Marco, you picked 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Marco, you will be talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, damn. Okay.
This is probably one of the harder ones, so apologies. All right, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right, here we go.
This movie is about Spider-Man, but specifically a variation on Peter Parker, who is the original character. And this covers Miles Morales, one of the newer creations coming out of the Ultimate line, and that is joined the 616 universe. In this movie, he decides that he's coming back from college and going into college, and there is a supervillain that is trying to cross multiverses and bring in and stop an event from happening. In the process of
Kale.
Kale said Kale. All right,
Damn it! I don't want it.
Kale. Well, why'd you challenge?
Hesitation.
Yeah, there was hesitation there. There was. All right, so Kale, you continue.
Can I-
You have
can
12
I-
seconds.
Can I ask where he left off?
No.
Okay.
And here
So-
you go.
So the Kingpin is trying to cross multiverses, and he is stopped by Peter B. Parker, who is from a different universe and is having grown-up troubles because
All right,
he's a
Kale gets
millennial
that
birthing
point.
out Spider-Man.
Kale gets that point.
I had 12 seconds left. Fuck.
Marco, you could have said Spider-Man multiple times. It's in the title. I felt like you were.
Oh no!
I felt like that.
Okay,
was...
so we can say the title.
If it's in the title, if
Yeah.
the theme is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, yes, that is fine.
Oh,
Okay.
damn,
All
dude.
right.
I was working my way around that shit.
All right. So, Kel, your next one. I felt you working around that, Marco. I was seeing the steam coming out your ears on that one. All right, Kel, your topic is Blackest Night.
I didn't read this. This is where I stopped reading comics for a little while.
Talk about
Oh,
that.
what? Blackest Night's so good. All right. Here you go.
So Jeff Johns brought back Hal Jordan in Green Lantern, and what happened was he reset the Green Lantern continuity, and that led to a shift in the broader mechanics of death in the DC universe. What that means is there were different colors of the emotional spectrum. that
Sean.
became
Sean?
Oh, thank God. Oh, I hate
top-
this.
Off topic.
Fine.
No, I
he
was
also
just
said,
getting there.
He was talking about the colors.
I was just getting into the rings.
I'm
Tyler.
gonna say that's off topic.
Really?
Take it. I don't
This
give a shit.
this that's getting into the Green Lantern mythos. I'm asking for Blackest Night. You also said Green Lantern twice, so just saying, but all right, Sean, you got 25 seconds. Ready?
25 seconds.
I don't know, call that
Yeah.
bullshit, but because I'm having a
said how.
terrible time.
I thought he said Hal and Green Lantern.
All right, Sean, 25 seconds. Ready? Here we go.
All right. So, Blackest Night is an event that is essentially about the fulfilling of a prophecy within the Lantern universe that suggests that with Brightest Day, there will be Blackest Night. This features the heroes and villains of the DC universe, some of which are undead, because they are being resurrected by the Black Lantern. And it's a huge war that goes across the
All right,
entire
you got
color
it. You
spectrum.
got the point. All you got a fucking point, so you all win.
Stole it off.
Oh, I hate Tyler. This is an incredible game. I think it could be done very, very well.
It's probably
I hate
stressful
every
as shit.
second.
I think as people play the game more, I think you start understanding things
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, that's hesitation. Oh, that's off topic. Oh, I heard you say, like Sean said Lantern twice.
Did he?
He did. He did.
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably like it's not stressful for me because I'm just looking at a clock. But like you got, like,
no shit. Tyler.
that's 60 seconds. You probably feel that thing, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna get you playing these games. Don't worry. There's no reason you shouldn't be playing these damn games.
I will gladly play these. But yeah, that's scene chewing, guys. So you all win. The pals
Yay.
win in this one.
Kefis says, "I think bullshit. Kill wasn't off topic."
Kefis, how about
don't
you
know,
be on the
man.
show, huh? How about you play this game next time, huh, buddy?
I guess the way I see it is, Sean's question about contextualization, and that's where I was coming from, was contextualizing what
And
was
I didn't answer that question.
Yeah,
Yeah, I said talk
So-
about Civil War.
and I was trying to eat time, to be honest. So
That's why I challenged it, because I knew what you were doing.
fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you ride. I was like, you know what, it's fine. But then you were talking about the spectrum and all this. I'm like, no, dude, I'm challenged.
But they're in the book. That's part of the thing.
I don't disagree, man. It's just a game. I had to do it.
Disagree, but you called me on it anyway. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Ooh,
Absolutely. I got to play the
I
game.
like
You
the,
are
the
absolutely
drama.
right, but
No, it worked out in my favor this time. Good game. Good game.
Good stuff.
yeah.
Sean, I will send you the
Please don't make it.
Quizzlemania is a game, a monthly game show by the Wrestle Talk Parts of Unknown people.
Oh,
and they
okay.
do this with like wrestling stuff. It would be like, I don't know, Mankind getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell, and like,
Sure.
yeah, the
That's
first
fun.
couple times they did it, it was a fucking mess. But the 20th time, it's fucking great. But yeah, that's scene chewing, guys. So
All right. Round of applause for Tyler. Did you have that, Tyler? Hey,
I'm gonna come.
shit,
All
no,
right,
I don't-
that's
I don't
not
have
the
it.
kind
Nope.
of-
Nope. Sorry about that.
that's not the kind of rain of applause that one would like.
False.
Oh, all right. So we have to talk now about the end of an era, as one Joe Quesada, who has worked for Marvel for over 20 years, has left Marvel Comics. Joe started with Marvel as an editor. Well, he began editing in '98. He, rose to the ranks as an amazing artist, got the editor position, became chief creative officer of the company. He's had a stellar career, again, that spans multiple decades. When you're talking about his artwork, I mean, my man, 91, 80 something is when he started, somewhere in there. I think he got his first Marvel job with the Ghost Rider cover in 91. And it's been a tour de force of a career. It really has. Most people don't know Joe's influence in Marvel, especially because he's not really a force in the way that he used to be. We're talking about, the editor in chief behind Marvel during its ascent. Marvel bounced back from really hard and bad times. And we all, here know this, but people listening might not. Marvel was bankrupt and they were done. It was over. And I think, and I don't think this is controversial to say, that without Joe Quesada, it's possible that there is no longer a Marvel, not in the way we know it.
Sean,
Joe,
just
yeah,
one point of clarification. It's the Marvel Knights line that he.
yes, that's
right?
exactly what I was about to get to. He,
Okay. Yeah.
helped launch the Marvel Knights, and that, of course, is I think Marvel Knights changed the game.
Mhm.
Daredevil, Punisher, so many books came out of that line that changed the way that superhero stories were being told. Joe's responsible for the trade paperback model, not like the existence of it in any way, but bringing it back to Marvel and making that a huge part of how they sell and market their books. Um, Joe and Bendis, they go together like rice and chicken if you're Spanish. I associate those two with each other because I feel like Joe believed in Bendis and put him in positions to succeed. Under his watch, we got the Ultimate line. So Joe became editor in chief around 2000, and one of his first things was to launch the Ultimate line. He also, because he was an editor and an artist, understood how important it was for editors to have a major role in the creation of books and to bring everyone closer together. So one of his big edicts was to make associate editors a much bigger part of the creation of comics at Marvel and to actually credit them within the books. And I think that has probably helped a lot when you look at how intricate Marvel storytelling was in the 2000s. You can't do that without a wave of editors. And Joe, being one himself, understood that was necessary. Cup of Joe.
Dude, Cup of Joe panels in New York Comic Con. That was like, you had to be there.
Yeah.
Like back, oh man, those were so good.
Special. Cup of Joe panels at New York Comic Con and many others were panels where, Joe Quesada would come out and talk. And it was cool to get to hear from the man himself about, the books Marvel was publishing, getting to pick his brain when they asked questions. And you'd always get some really cool announcements, special guests. It was fun. And I think, I know I sound old when I say this, but I think that was the most fun time, and I'm sure there were other fun times in comics, but for me, it was just so much fun. Marvel was so fun under Joe in a way that it might not be again, at least not for me and my taste. So I have a lot of feelings about this, but I'll pass so you guys can talk too.
So for me, I picked this picture of Joe, because he looks like a dad at Disney World. And, it's fine. But also, like, you can tell the time it was taken in. It's Fear itself. It was like the back. It's in the background here, in like a monitor. But so is that what is it? Oh, geez.
Poster.
Sean, do you remember the artist of the poster that's behind him? I don't know if you can see it, but it was during the Heroic Age, I believe.
Fear itself.
Where they had those like interconnecting posters. He was the cover artist on Straczynski's Thor.
Is that
not Coipel?
No, Coipel was interiors.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Matt would know.
Delotto?
No. It's never mind. Whatever. But like that era of Marvel.
Dragocevic, Marco Dragocevic.
Yeah. Djurdjevic.
Whatever.
Djurdjevic. Yeah, Marco
Okay.
Djurdjevic. Yeah, that's who it is. But like that era of Marvel where it was like post Secret Invasion, like pre Disney buyout too, I believe. I think this might probably be an actual. Maybe this is promotional art for when Disney you bought it up, because probably around this time.
He's just manifesting it.
Yeah. But like right before that, like that's where like that was my happy place with comics, Like I was in a comic book club in high school at that point, and not to be like just nostalgia Joe, but it was just dumb fun. is what it was. You know, and I wasn't really into the behind the scenes stuff as much, you know, as I am now, where I know how the sausage is made. Back then it was just like, oh, I'm just reading the comics, you know, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's just it was kind of my home in a way. So
It's interesting to hear you guys talk about it. I started in comics later, and I've only ever known him as CCO. So the fact that he has this history is kind of new to me, and really interesting. The fact that like as his first thing to do is strike up the ultimate line, that makes sense. That's a creative decision that can, I think, only be done by somebody who has worked in the industry, and it's like this is something that is necessary, or there's a market here that's lacking. It's foresight.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Jacariah? Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, Quesada is probably one of the first artists I really started paying attention to. I think the first book I ever got was is the Daredevil that he did
With what's this guy's name? Kevin Smith?
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yes,
fucking George
I
McGee.
think it echoes. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Echo, yeah.
Yeah. Her introduction
Yep.
in whatever book that was.
Marvel Knights, right? Marvel Knights Daredevil. I
Potentially,
believe.
yeah. It was
Yep.
well before I
Good
knew what
Kingpin
that
stuff.
was. Yeah. So like that, his era was when I was just devouring absolutely anything I could get my hands on, and actively, you know, new stuff, old stuff, just, you know, give it all to me.
Mhm.
So yeah, this hits home in a certain way, but in a very different way. I didn't actually know he was still there.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah.
So
I think Joe. So Joe kind of grew out of the editor-in-chief title and was moved over into like an overall chief creative officer. So he had his hands in a lot of like early Marvel movies and TV stuff. He was a part of that cabal that got ousted when Kevin Feige decided he had enough.
Cabal.
And so yeah, that's why we haven't really heard of him a lot since. And I think he probably felt, if I had to guess, put out to pasture. And I think he wants to, you know, do things. And I think that's good because Joe Quesada is a creative mind. And we haven't really discussed it. Kale brought it up to some degree, but like also a brilliant artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like the only times they ever bring him out nowadays was like, oh, new Marvel #1 variant cover, Joe Quesada variant, you know?
Quick funny story about Joe Quesada. So the Daredevil run that Kale referenced was with Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith had not written a comic before. So you know, he turns in the first script or whatever, and Joe looks at it, and Joe's got to draw it. And Joe's like, yeah, you got to trim this. And Kevin Smith is like, I'm not doing that. And Joe's like, it's not going to work on the page. And Kevin's like, this is my vision. So Joe says, okay. And then Joe draws the page, and then he puts the lettering over it so that Kevin's could see. And the whole page all the art was covered with letters. And he sent that to Kevin Smith, and then Kevin Smith took an axe to the script. So
That's awesome.
I'll learn.
exactly.
One of my favorite con memories was actually going to a New York Comic Con special edition. I don't know if you guys went to that one.
Yes,
like
that's
one in
where I
June.
met He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Great convention, by the way. I'm mad that was only like a one and done, or like they did two.
That was
or
so
something.
cool.
It was
Yeah.
a great time of the year. It was like just comics, really. I got a Ramon Perez Thanos commission down there. But there was a Cup of Joe panel where they introduced, I believe it was an Invincible Iron Man by Bendis. It was Bendis and Joe. And then it was like maybe 30 people in the crowd. Like it was super small and intimate. And it was just fucking cool. There were like wharf roaches everywhere though, so I didn't really care much for that because it was at the pier.
Ooh, right.
So I was like stomping on like weird ass bugs. But
that's a little nasty,
I
but
see.
okay.
yeah, outside of that, it was really cool, and like that, I think that might have been the last Cup of Joe that I went to. Yeah, because the New York Comic Con one proper, they were just too wild, honestly, those lines.
What do you guys associate with the thought of Joe from a specifically comic standpoint? Like when you think of him, like what are the one or two things that come to mind?
His interview on the Colbert Report about Civil War. Didn't he give Stephen the Captain America shield?
Wow, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, and that was on the set for the entirety of the show, pretty much.
Yeah,
going
yeah.
forward. Yep.
That's pretty cool. I think when I think about Joe, I think about I think about One More Day.
Okay. The cover, he did the cover art, right?
Yeah. I met him one time and I said, I really loved One More Day. And that was not true.
Got it right here.
Wow. Nice.
He didn't
Tyler,
just do the cover art. He did the whole book.
right, he did do the
Yeah, he did.
interiors. Yeah. Yep.
He did.
Yep.
It's good too.
And it was his idea. Like that's what he wanted for Peter, was to be a single dude. And so JMS had to write it, and then he took his damn name off it. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think about that, and I think about Civil War, because I know obviously Joe had no, creative role in the actual book, but he was the guy. So yeah, I think that's what I think about when I think about. Interested to see what he does next.
Yeah,
but more so just saying congratulations to a tremendous, incredible career, and thank you for what you did for Marvel.
For sure.
So let's talk about Marvel Studios. No Marvel Studios likely without Joe Quesada. Marvel is searching for a big name to direct Fantastic Four. Now, this goes back to the bet that is still in play between Kefis and I, which I believe is that he says there will not be a Fantastic Four movie before 2024. I believe that's the bet. And I believe that there will be. And the loser has to buy the winner a trade or an omnibus, and it can't be more expensive than, what do we say, $80? I think was the
which you pretty much can get any in stock trade book.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point, yeah.
So it appears that this is bad news for me, because Marvel is taking their time with this. They want a big name. They want someone. It's actually really interesting. So the reports say that Kevin Feige and these are not like necessarily coming from anywhere official, but this is just the chatter. So here's what a source says. Kevin doesn't want to oversee the entire shoot, and after not having to worry about that with Raimi on Doctor Strange 2, he is very game to the same outcome with this shoot. So Kevin basically wants to not have to watch over the movie to make sure that it comes out how he needs it to. And I guess Sam Raimi understood what he was asked to do and did that without oversight. And Kevin wants that. He got a taste, and he wants more.
Of all the films to do that with.
Right? That was my thought.
Yeah.
It's interesting because John Watts left. And you have to think that there was a metric ton of oversight required for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm, for sure. 1,000%.
And I also feel like you want that oversight for Fantastic Four.
I do too.
Especially after its history in film.
Yeah. That specifically.
Yeah. It's weird. He's like, yeah, just give me a director who knows what they're doing.
Give me someone good and let them do it. Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions? Because I have a couple ideas.
You're a good podcaster. I have none. I'm bad at this game.
Martin Scorsese.
Oh, you were just gonna tell us. Just fucking go.
That would be funny.
They're just gonna buy him out. Oh, you don't like comic book superhero movies? Here you go. How
Pull up
many
the
more
bridge film.
zeros would you like?
Yeah.
I have. So if he wants someone like Raimi, he wants someone who is an auteur who can kind of do their own thing. I think the easy answer is Robert Zemeckis. I think would be an interesting person to do like a good, wholesome Fantastic Four movie. I think
Family-style movie,
Zemeckis's most recent directorial thing is it's been a while. I think. It looks like a lot of producing credits. Let me see what this most recent directorial. It was The Witches on HBO Max, which was not good. But
Oh, it wasn't.
I couldn't finish it. It was rough in my opinion. But
CW Gordon said Tarantino looking for his 10th film, dude. How many
yes,
times
Star
do we
Trek didn't work.
see Sue Storm's feet in the movie?
it's gonna be Jessica Alba coming back too.
No,
But I
please.
have my honest answer, and what I want is if they really want auteur and they really want to have somebody who can just do his own thing, give me Fantastic Four by Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
That would be
fun.
so much fun. It would never happen. Never happen.
Yep.
Wes Anderson would never take something,
way.
like
That's
that.
too
No.
artsy.
Adrian Brody as Reed.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on a second.
That's not terrible.
That's not
bad.
terrible.
You get
Yeah.
you get Bill Murray to reprise his role as the Human Torch.
What?
Do you not know about this?
Was it SNL? Was it?
No. In the original radio serials in I don't know the
Oh.
50s or something, one of Bill Murray's first roles was as the Human Torch.
No
in
way.
the Fantastic Four radio series.
That's so funny.
I could totally see Bill Murray being the mailman. What's his name?
Yeah. Stan was him in the second one, I think.
Yeah.
I would think Brad Bird.
Yeah, CW Gordon just
That's a
said
good-
that
okay.
in the chat. Yeah.
That's like a go-to for like Iron Giant, Incredibles. Like that's very much what I would imagine is there's a reverence there.
True,
And it has those hero elements.
I love that idea. However, I do want to point out that, and this is coming from the comicbook.com article, they make the point that Marvel has made their bones, especially within the last 10 years, on getting
Oh, bless you.
Especially you.
getting
Allergies.
directors, letting people's directorial debut or big blockbuster film debut be on Marvel movies, and they have examples that I didn't think about, like Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon's first, I think it was his first movie. No,
Serenity might have been.
Yeah.
But like blockbuster film, it was his first. Joe and Anthony Russo, this was their first blockbuster film. James Gunn, Taika, all these different directors, like Chloe Zhao, even this is their first blockbuster film. And that oversight that they're talking about, there's a difference between making movies that are expected to make almost $1 billion and making movies that, they almost don't even care how much it makes. So I think that's kind of where Kevin's coming from. And based on your point, Marco, I don't know if Brad Bird, has Brad Bird ever directed a movie with physical acting in it, with live action?
Ratatouille.
Point.
I think that's a great call out. And I think that from a creative standpoint, though, he would nail it.
Tomorrowland, I think.
It was meant to be a pretty big movie. It kind of flopped, but yeah. And he did do Ghost Protocol. I think Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So he's done.
It was also with Damon. Was it Damon Lindelof? I don't
That's
know.
an interesting name to throw out there. Yeah,
I love Lindelof, but no.
yeah, that's a triggering name for Sean. Lindelof did Leftovers, right? There's a lot of family dynamic in Leftovers. Leftovers, fantastic TV show. By the way.
I watched that. That was my first pandemic watch, and I liked it a lot, but it was very frustrating.
Lindelof did Watchmen. I mean,
Yes.
there's like
Yeah.
I could see that actually.
I would almost think Fantastic Four is too normal.
You know, I'm gonna throw out a name, and it's not gonna happen, and it's probably not even worth talking about. But this is my favorite director, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, you're right. That's not worth talking about.
That is a big name though.
Big
Imagine
name. Wouldn't have to
Doom
oversee
shows
it.
up on screen and just goes, "Whoa."
See, I was mine is going to be fairly similar. I was going to say Edgar Wright.
Oh, I love
probably
Edgar
do a
Wright,
cool one.
dude.
But I wouldn't use him for Fantastic Four though. I'd use him for something like a bit more offbeat.
Ant-Man?
But I think
Oh wait,
I think I think that's why he would be good. Is I think he would do a story that you wouldn't necessarily put together, or he would take it at an angle that wouldn't be the the normal one.
Yeah.
have you seen Edgar Wright's newest movie? What was it called?
Haven't
I didn't get
seen
to it.
yet.
Yeah, no.
J.J. Abrams was another one I was thinking of.
No, I think he's
Mm-mm.
I think he's off
Talk
the board right now. I think DC is a little unhappy. Are we going to be talking about that later, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah. I it's up in the air. I hope they make an announcement soon, so I don't have to buy Kefis an omnibus. I'd like to spend that money on me. So hurry up, Marvel. Hire Christopher Nolan. Pull up the Brinks truck. Get Christian Bale for another role. Let him be Mr. Fantastic and call it a day. Let's move on. I'm just kidding.
What a casting!
Yeah.
Jesus, Lou.
God.
He's too busy
He'll
being
probably-
Gore.
Yeah, he'll probably starve himself so he can stretch further. Like
C.W. Gordon says Spielberg doesn't need oversight.
Wait a second.
that would be a big deal if that happened.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
But
wow.
Spielberg's relationship with Disney is weird, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially
I think
because of the animated
Yeah.
side of things.
but also Spielberg, yeah, absolutely. I would love to see that. I think that could be really interesting.
That would hit.
Yeah. Would AvengersCon hit?
No,
Nope.
It hit
No.
different, that's for
probably.
sure.
It probably would.
So Marvel is toying around with the idea of doing AvengersCon. So I'll explain what the hell that is. For those of you who have played the Avengers game, Marvel's Avengers it starts with Miss Marvel at AvengersCon. And it's really cool. You can go around, see like hidden, like gems. There's like comic book covers you can collect and lots of like Easter eggs and things like that. It's very fun. And in the show, they're doing the same thing. And so when they were filming Miss Marvel, they had built a set for AvengersCon. And Miss Marvel was filmed in the same general area as Spider-Man 3. So Tom Holland and like the like people from that set would go over and look at AvengersCon and they were blown away by it. And so Kevin Feige recently was asked about the possibility of this at the Miss Marvel premiere, and he said we were talking about that on set. It was very cathartic for all of us to see that, and we were shooting Spider-Man No Way Home on the stage right next door, the scene with the 3 Spideys. The crew from that movie kept sneaking over to see AvengersCon. I think that might be fun to do sometime. Yes.
That would be a great marketing play. Like because the premise is also that she's a fangirl. So she's
Right.
like into it, and then you bring other people into that same sort of fervor, and then the show drops. So like next week, that'd be fucking cool.
I contend that what they did at Disney for Marvel and Avengers should have been AvengersCon.
Oh, the Disneyland Avengers Campus sort of thing?
Yeah.
Fair.
I would go. I would love it.
That'd be cool.
Do you remember what it was called when they announced Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange? They had this weird kind of press event. It was like an MCU event in Hollywood. There was like this big thing. Fans were allowed to come. They were invited. I think that's where they first showed off the Black Panther costume. It was like a big deal, and it felt like what this feels like. You know what I mean? Like it's a place where they can make their own announcements. It's like their Disney Plus day for
I was gonna say, wasn't
Marvel.
that like D-Day or something?
There's
no,
D23.
D-Day was after World War II.
Is that not?
There is D23. I feel like this was a Marvel specific.
It was specifically MCU.
Yeah. And I think that's where they revealed Civil War. After they played us, it was supposed to be a Serpent Society movie, and then they flipped over and it was Civil War. I think that's where they did all that cool stuff. That was a great event. I liken it to BlizzCon.
Sure.
I think if AvengersCon was like, well, if AvengersCon was like BlizzCon,
yeah,
that would be something
but
special.
yeah, but they could literally show off. It could be like an E3. They could show off all their games because there's a fucking shit ton. There's Spider-Man 3 coming out. Wolverine's coming out. Who knows if Squeenix is going to do another Guardians game? Like, there's so many Marvel properties that I don't know why they haven't done this already.
Right?
You know, like have it in Anaheim. The convention center is across the street from Disneyland, which has Avengers Campus there.
And there's Star Wars celebrations. So there's precedent within Disney.
Yep.
Interestingly, the executive producer and one of the co-directors for Miss Marvel said that it was Bisha Ali, who was a writer on the series, said that there is a real draft and pitch and that she worked on it for AvengersCon. It exists.
Okay.
So whether they'll do it or not is up in the air. I would love to see it, and I think fans would really appreciate it. So get on the ball, Marvel.
I would definitely travel for the first one because I feel like the first one would be freaking nuts.
I would do anything to get there. Absolutely.
You guys have fun.
I just think the idea of like I would assume like what's stopping them right now is probably that there's still a pandemic going on. Or maybe starting a new con is not the best idea.
People going to San Diego, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said a new one. And plus, you talked about that guy with the cons last week. Apparently, they might be a little dangerous too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, listen, everything for you guys is dangerous.
Unfortunately, but hey, at AvengersCon, the superheroes can save us.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So we talked earlier about Joe Quesada, and now we're going to talk about Bill Jemas. So Bill is, of course, a legendary figure in comics. Kind of a name that doesn't really ring out now. He's most known for starting AWA, Artists, Writers, and Artisans. They're a publishing company in the industry, and they're doing pretty solid. They put out good books. They hire top talent, and it's all quality. Well, Bill's leaving. Bill has left. Bill quit AWA to start a new studio called Be Good Studios. And this is how we get to talking about NFTs again.
All right.
God damn it, Bill.
So not too long ago, it was in May, AWA announced that they were going to be delving into NFTs. They announced that they were going to be doing some NFT comics and things like that. And it was met with severe backlash. It's worth noting that Bill Jemas and Axel Alonso, who is the editor-in-chief over there, I believe, they don't agree a lot. They started the company together. They don't agree a lot on, what direction it should be going in and stuff like that. So after the backlash on NFTs, they said, "Oh, we're not doing NFTs. Sorry, never mind." And that was in May. That was actually in late May. So, like 2 weeks ago. And now Bill has left. And in the announcement of what Be Good Studios will be doing, NFTs is at the forefront. So you figure out why he left AWA.
Wow, he's already off of the team website here.
Oh,
yeah. I'm looking at the team website right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's completely gone. So this is what they say they're going to be involved in. Uh, Last Thursday, I started Be Good Studios LLC. Be Good is an entertainment business owned and operated by the artists, writers, and artisans who show and tell the stories and work for the business. We publish webtoons, comic books, and graphic novels, produce and distribute animation and live action, mint and market NFTs, and license our properties for media and merchandise. We do not do what other publishers do, commissioning comic book writers to create the original stories, then optioning those stories to Hollywood and hoping for others to rewrite the stories, then fund, package, relight, and produce TV and feature films. Instead, we start with award-winning independent filmmakers and animators who co-create original stories with wonderfully talented webtoon and comic book artists. Then we build audience with promotional partners and raise funding for feature films and TV series with strategic Web3 investors. So we disintermediate Hollywood from our creative and funding process and do our own film and TV distribution deals from a position of strength. Is that going to work?
You're telling me that the guy who helped spearhead initiatives at Marvel Comics that included Marvel, if you know what Marvel is, and Trouble, the Mark Miller, Terry Dodson romance comic that dealt with a teen May Riley and Ben Parker and pregnancy.
What?
Oh,
You know
dude.
about
Yeah,
that?
that's...
No.
Yo, we
That's
gotta
a
look up
dark
Trouble.
corner.
Yeah, it's a romance comic where may be fucking.
Yeah.
It's got a fucking killer creative team too. But that guy who spearheaded those initiatives has a dumb idea. Interesting.
And it's funny because I think that the best idea Bill ever had was making Joe Quesada the editor-in-chief.
Yep.
The fact that they're coming in with filmmakers and animators to work with artists, I think is, like, we've talked about it in the past, like how people sometimes will make comics for the screen. These guys feel like, assumingly, would come in with that intention of just like, I'm gonna use this as my like screenplay, or I'm gonna use this as my pitch, right? This is my storyboard, and I have it. We're gonna publish it, and then from there immediately be able to just produce. And I think that's, I don't know, it feels weird just because you would want them to focus on the medium first before trying to translate it. This feels like they're already speaking film and producing that as a comic book.
I think that already goes to show sort of the money focus, even if you don't look at like the NFT side of it, right? Like, you know, the comic is a storyboard, which is to lead to film, so we can make $1 million and do it all over again.
Sure.
It's like, hey, look at my IP farm. It's really what it is.
It's what, you know, I give them credit for transparency, I guess, and wanting to put, you know, control of, you know, these films that go on to make $100 million in the hands of, you know, the creators and the studio that, you know, originally produces it. But I have a sneaking suspicion that even if they were to succeed at that, creators won't benefit that much more than the ones at Marvel, but maybe not that much more than, say, the ones at like Image or whatever. So, and then also as a creative, do you really want some, you know, director from indie films or whatever to come and tell you what their vision is for how this will work on screen? No, I want to make a comic book.
Yeah, on the page at that point, right? Like,
yeah, get out of here.
How are you gonna dictate me, the artist, like that? I'm sure you can to a certain degree, but it's collaborative, and if you're demanding, I feel like that's not the way to collaborate with an artist.
Yeah, not at all. So good luck, Bill. Be good.
Is Bill the one that started that other company that we?
Yes.
Okay.
Not good, right?
Not good.
Right? That's what
Yes, yes. The opposite of be good.
Because I'm like, wait, didn't he do this like a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you do a double take, right?
Yeah.
Wait, was it what do you do?
I thought that's what you were talking about, Gil.
No. The one we covered at the other place so
Double take.
extensively.
Double
That's
take,
the
right?
one,
Yeah.
He did double
That's
take
what-
too?
That's what
the one I was talking about.
I said
yeah.
makes you do a double take. I was saying it without saying it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
We're-
hear that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Marco, you're thinking of Bad Idea. That's what you're
No,
thinking
that's what I'm
of.
thinking of. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
no,
yes.
no. That was a good idea.
Well,
Bad idea was a good idea. Double take, not so much. This
Might be good.
no.
could be good, probably be bad.
I heard some of these shit show stories about double take.
Dude,
Yeah.
wow, that was a
I'll say,
time.
I think I looked out on one of the books because my book's pretty good.
Dude, I wrote I did a review for one of them and it literally got changed. Like not just like for spelling, but the tone of my review got changed because we had to write good reviews for bad books.
Hey,
Nuts.
I wrote a review for a book that that I got yelled at for, but also my review changed the way the person who was in charge of our section for doing these books, the way he looked at reviews and comic books. So I was like, all right, we're not operating on a high level here.
Oof, what a time, boys.
What a time. It's
Yep.
a shame the audience will never know about it.
That's right.
It could be a good
maybe
good episode
Patreon.
of
Palling around.
Palling around, yeah.
Maybe we should just make a documentary.
Site doesn't exist anymore. I
pretty
think
cool.
you probably
No,
could.
it doesn't.
It's a done. In our main topic, we're going to be talking about DC films,
Also,
the
speaking of things
DCFU,
that are done.
right? Because there's turmoil. There's a lot of turmoil going on over there, and it's actually potentially good turmoil, but it very much feels like out with the old and with the new, and so we're going to talk about what that means for Batgirl, what that means for the Flash, what that means for what's his name? It was said earlier, bad robot guy, Abrams, and so much more in our main topic. We will be back in 5 minutes or less. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned.
Guys, we're going live a little. We're going back a little earlier. Marco's
Okay,
eating
so-
raisins with chopsticks.
Bro,
Yeah, show them because that's insane.
y'all shit on me all the time for using chopsticks to be able to eat stuff. Like,
Is that a cup?
no, it's the
It's a bag of
the,
raisins.
Like, out of the box. You just
Oh my god!
Like, look,
And-
I get Cheetos. There's
Yeah,
a
I do
degree
Cheetos
of
with
that makes
chopsticks,
sense
yeah.
to me. But raisins?
Don't you do that with fries? Didn't you say that,
I do it with everything because I don't want to get my hands dirty.
dude?
If I don't,
You
need
know
to,
what? I'm
I
turning
don't have
around
to.
with this. I like it. I don't like getting my hands
Dude,
dirty either.
look at this. Look at this. I get the same amount of clump as I would with a little pin, like a gross little pinch.
I will say,
No.
just the idea of snacking on raisins is vile to me.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like snacking on what?
I've never
I
even
don't like
had a
raisins at all.
raisin. I
What?
couldn't. I don't have any clue or context for what that tastes like.
Harris has a good point. How do you get your hands dirty with
Because
raisins?
the
the fun-
sugar,
It's dirty,
the residual sugars, they get all sticky.
dude. You gotta stop that, man.
Bro, it is the easiest thing.
Go work on a car.
Raisins
Go
are not
putting
shit,
in
Kefis. Raisins
fucking-
are delicious.
Go to a construction site and ask if you can have a job. You need to come back down to earth.
Marco's gonna be putting in motor oil with chopsticks.
It's like, yeah, I can see your gasket here is all fucked up. And
Unbelievable. We had to deal with that right now.
Yo,
We
Kefis,
just-
I am on your side here. Raisins are shit. Ugh.
raisins are delicious.
No, man.
Raisins are fine, but like your hands don't get dirty.
Oh my God. Harris says, in my nearly 40 years on this earth, I have never ever seen anyone have dirty hands from
Bro,
raisins.
are you not gonna tell me that your hands will get all like sticky because the raisins have that residual sugar from when they get dried?
No.
Y'all are crazy. Nah, y'all. Bugging.
I would sooner eat sweetbreads than I would raisins.
sweetbread. Eat it with the chopstick, bro. You don't get your hands all like covered with little sugars.
Wow. Wow. All right. So we have to.
Chopstick mechanic.
It's a Jeff Lemire graphic novel, I think.
I'll
We-
figure
we-
it out, Kefis. Don't worry.
How do you
We
eat
have-
meat buns? How do you eat meat buns? You eat them with the chopstick.
What's a
No,
meat
you hit it with
bun?
your hands.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I know what a meat bun is. You know.
Uh, All right.
Is
Hold on. I do it. Yeah. What discounts raisin? What discount raisins do you
Sun-made
get?
brand.
Discount
Sponsored by. Yo, this is name brand shit. Okay.
Wait, whoa, we're not getting paid for that.
Oh my.
I also
bad.
think, yeah,
brand.
I think Harris is right. Meat buns are eaten with your hands too. Like they're a hand food,
Fucking
But what's a
all the
meat
time.
bun?
like a bow bun
Chinese
sort of
meat
thing.
Like a bow
bun.
situation?
Bao's a dumpling. A Chinese meat bun is it's just
You're a
bread and
dumpling.
bacon, pork inside, or beef.
And what do you eat that with?
Kevin's called you a
You can eat it with-
dilettante.
Your hands. That's what you eat it with.
You can eat it with the chopstick.
Oh my god, dude. Okay. How do you eat a meatball?
Well, with a fork.
Oh, okay. Not with a
Okay.
chopstick.
I'm not a
How do you-
fucking deviant.
How do you eat a slice of pizza?
With a
Oh,
chopstick.
Hands, no, hands, absolutely. Actually, one guy in my office, he's English. He started using fork and knife. I'm like, the fuck are you doing there?
Insane.
It's the George Costanza eating a Snickers bar sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I will say I eat buffalo wings with the knife and fork.
Why? Why?
Maybe,
Tyler?
maybe I can't. Because I feel like it more. It feels like talons that I can actually get in there and get all the meat. You know.
Nah, you gotta suck that bone.
Well, all right. So Marco's gonna be sucking bone. Meanwhile, we're gonna talk about.
There's nothing wrong with that. Not that there's anything
I'm
wrong
not
with that.
criticizing it. I'm just saying that's what he's gonna be doing
Well,
while
Am I-
we
am
talk
I
about
keeping this
DC.
part in the podcast? Is my question.
Yeah. This is podcast. This is
All right,
this
sure.
is good potting right here. So
Now this is podcasting. Marco, you want to talk about sand?
no.
dude, I love sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
Do you eat it with chopsticks? Let's
Doesn't want to get his fingers dirty.
let's talk about DC. All
I don't
right.
think we want to. I think we want to talk about these.
I guess
chopsticks.
not. We just want to talk bullshit, which I'm cool with that, right? We can do that,
We have a show for
but
that.
we have a show for that, and maybe we should have a live show for that. We got to talk about that. But for right now, we got to talk about DC. So,
Wait, I'm gonna call out Harris over
oh
here.
my god,
Wings should be eaten with hands, with maybe thin gloves. No,
no, you don't eat wings with gloves, Harris. What
Bro.
the fuck?
that's you gotta no.
Gloves?
Dude eating wings on Fifth Avenue or something. Jeez, get the white glove treatment.
Yeah, like how do you eat ribs?
a bib.
Very fast.
With a bib. I need a bib. I spilled ketchup on myself yesterday. That just sucked.
That's because it's ketchup.
Okay.
Actually, I'm never mind. Go ahead.
Can I tell you guys a British thing?
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes.
We're never gonna end
Mushy
this show.
peas.
It's worse than mushy peas. So British people, doesn't matter what it is, put butter on their bread. Now, that doesn't sound weird. They do it when they make a sandwich. What do you put on a sandwich?
Butter and
Mustard.
mayo.
Mayo.
Sure.
On top of the butter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So that makes sense to me. Here's why. Butter,
I hate you. I hate
similar to
this.
mayonnaise, has a
Makes me
fat
so mad.
content
I'm with you.
that
Exactly.
that
You should
keeps
never
Okay,
have
the,
brought this
the
up.
sauce in.
Hold on. Let me go one step further.
Okay. Yep.
So when my wife gets a breakfast sandwich,
My wife.
I've lost control of the show, guys. I can't stop this. Like I don't know what to do.
She puts butter on the bread,
Sure. Uh huh.
and then she puts ketchup on it to go with the sausage or the bacon or whatever.
I don't like that.
Okay. Well, first of all, I
This
don't
is
like
a
ketchup,
normal
so-
thing in this the year of our Lord 2022. In
like that.
the queen on the Queensmas Day.
The Earl of Sandwich himself used to put butter on his bread.
This makes me insane. I do it, okay, butter on your bread, butter on your sandwich, fine. But that's all you get.
do they put the butter on before they put on the beans on the toast?
Yes.
Okay.
All
But
right.
again, that makes sense.
Guys, please.
It's the
I don't think we
ketchup
want to
on
talk
the
about
butter.
the DCEU.
You guys can go do another show. I'm talking DC for for the next 30 minutes.
I just need to know I'm not insane. It's the ketchup and the butter.
That's not cool.
That's disgusting, right?
I think it depends on the amount of butter. That's my. If it's like a visible amount of butter.
Hey, Sean, what's your favorite DC movie?
Joker, and I'm turning into the fucking Joker right now.
Yo, I watched the Joker right after I had that life event, which was
You
probably a
should
bad
not be
idea.
allowed to watch the Joker.
Yo, and I was like, yo, I feel it. I'm feeling it. I'm relating to this. I was about to put on makeup. I was texting Matt, be like, yo, man, I'm about to put on some white makeup right now.
He's looking himself in the mirror, just.
If
Yeah,
he shows up to the
I started doing
Hellfire
that
Gala
thing where I was
episode, we're going to do a Hellfire Gala episode possibly, and if you show up dressed like the Joker, I'm leaving, and I'm never going to your house.
Yeah, no, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, that's dark. Oh god, I can't. No, we're not even going to read the comments. So, so DC Films is in a state of upheaval. There was the Warner Discovery merger. We covered that extensively on a prior episode of the show. And so what has happened since then has been pretty interesting. So the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, has decided that he's undecided about the future of DC Films, but that what they have been doing isn't working and that he doesn't like it. And so they've been having extensive talks about how to change what is happening at DC and what that change needs to look like. So here's one of the first things that I want to mention that I think is really important. Toby Emmerich, who is the chairman of Warner Brothers, is stepping down. Warner Brothers Pictures. Now, he took that role in 2017. Warner has a lengthy, weird history with executives being bad actors and doing weird stuff, accusations. Walter Hamada, I believe, we talked about him extensively, his accusations. It happens. Toby Emmerich is stepping down. So to me, that's a big deal because obviously this is one of the people who spearheads Warner Brothers films. Zaslav says that all DC films should come out in theaters. They canceled the Wonder Twins movie, which people were excited about for some reason.
AJ Appa got that Archie heat.
Oh, okay. Marco, wow, you're without glasses, dude. Wow.
What happened?
Sean just fell in love, is what happened.
No, is it just like
I've never seen you without glasses. That also was
Really?
like.
I don't think I have either, and I've been around you tons.
Huh.
Sorry.
Like when Velma takes her glasses off, you know.
I'm in the same spot. What are you looking at?
I was gonna say hot.
I'm used to it because Marco and I have slept together.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Wow. So
Just letting that one stand.
Just let it get sit.
Warner, they want all the DC movies to come out in theaters. So they're axing the idea of Warner Brothers DC films coming out on HBO Max. Wonder Twins got canceled because the budget was too high for a movie that they were only putting out on HBO Max. To them, it made no sense.
How is that budget too high? One of the guy's powers just turned to water. Like that's
The
I can do that.
budget was crazy. I remember seeing it. I don't remember what it was, but it made no sense.
Telling you, KJ Appa.
So we're not getting Wonder Twins. Where does that leave Batgirl?
They've already showed the suit. I can't imagine like that's going away. I think it's good for Batgirl though. I think because it probably means it's coming out in the theaters now. So,
But question, Sean, the Toby stepping down. What does that mean to you then?
It means unstable ground.
Good.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's unstable.
I'm not saying it was stable in the first place.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that from a leadership standpoint, they lost their leader.
I think the leader's just getting replaced because of the new acquisition, right? You bring your people in, and so rather than keep the guy who's already on, well, I have a chairman or I have a president who can, come in and take over the organization because I'd rather get my people in. That's the way I'm seeing it.
That very well may be true. I have no scruples with that at all. I was just stating the facts.
Sure.
I think that Batgirl probably does come out in theaters, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. And the reason that I say that is because it was filmed for HBO Max. That's not the same thing. Like, what's the difference between that and, like, let's say Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Zack Snyder's Justice League was released on HBO Max as an exclusive, but it certainly didn't feel like a movie that was made for a streaming service. It feels like a big blockbuster movie because they put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. They probably didn't do that for Batgirl because the expectations aren't the same. So where will we see that movie lacking? I could be totally wrong, but that's my thought. They even, like, to me, got directors that you wouldn't necessarily get if you were getting directors for a movie that you had, like, really high hopes for. They got the directors for Bad Boys 3. It was okay,
So Blue Beetle was one of the ones that was supposed to be direct to HBO Max, and it got bumped up to theaters, right? Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah.
And the production footage of Blue Beetle has been leaked online, I guess. It looks pretty decent, honestly, like the costume and stuff for Blue Beetle. So I don't know. I think they could work with it. I think Batgirl is a thing too, where, like, you don't need to have a big budget Batgirl movie. That could be a more grounded thing. I mean, Firefly. I mean, congrats to Brendan Fraser actually coming out with a theatrical release movie again, which could be good for his renaissance. But I don't know. I'm excited for Batgirl, sorta, maybe. I don't know.
Where is Batgirl in filming? Do we have any indication? Is it finished? Is it?
I believe, and I could be wrong, Tyler, I'd love it if you would check this while I speak, but I believe it's done. I read a comment from, I believe it was one of the directors, and he said that they had no release date and he had nothing new to share. They've been kept in the dark as far as all that. It's in the hands of the executives. And I think that's in relation to the State of Flux.
Filming wrapped March 31st, 2022.
Yeah, like a month or two ago.
Yeah. So that's not great, but I don't think that represents. I think that only represents that they are still working out their plan, not that they don't like the movie or there's problems with the movie.
Yeah.
I'd also argue Peacemaker made just for HBO Max pretty fucking good, even in terms of the production quality. Like,
absolutely, but higher expectations, I would argue.
Well, I mean, I couldn't even see who the lead character was throughout the whole movie, but, like,
go ahead, Kill.
Well, also, they got that director who was doing the Passion Project, who
right,
has the TLC for the project, not necessarily the director for Bad Boys 3 doing a Batgirl film,
Right. I think that I actually don't even think that directing who they chose would have flown if it was meant to come out in theaters. I think it would have gotten more scrutiny. I think people would have been upset that it wasn't
Bad Boys for Life. Was that the one?
Bad Boys for Life, yeah.
Okay.
Which should have been Bad Boys 4, right?
Like, yeah, I know.
You know you're gonna do it. Like,
or Life, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's its own branch. On the other hand, you have The Flash, which has the most problematic actor in the main role that I can think of right this minute, in Ezra Miller. Ezra has been on a rampage in Hawaii, just going nuts. But according to reports, The Flash is testing very, very well. And so they're now trying to figure out what to do. Because if the movie's good, but you can't really highlight Ezra Miller too much. What do you do going forward? What do you do with Flash 2 or the Flash's role in the Justice League or whatever? So there's a lot of questions there.
Sylv in the chat makes a good point. Amber Heard as well.
Amber Heard as well.
Oh, yeah.
Amber's an interesting case because disregarding what's been going on, with the trial, even before all that, Warner did not like her in the role. They felt that her and Jason Momoa didn't have chemistry in the first movie. And so her role in Aquaman 2, this is what I have read, was reduced only because of that fact. She was actually going to be recast outright. But instead of doing that, they kept Amber Heard, but her role got reduced. Now you add, of course, what's been going on, and I don't think we see her ever again in a DC film. But yeah.
For Miller, I think at this point, put out the Flash. If we're doing a universe reset, recast, man. Like, I think it makes the most sense to sort of get away from Ezra for the sake of the DCFU, because if not, then he's just gonna be a mark. He's gonna be unless he gets his act together, get their act together, then I don't know that it's worth it, even if it's testing well, because you want the star of a movie to be out there and up front and talk about it. Whereas you go on a late night show right now, hey, so how's your karaoke singing and all that shit, right? Like it's just low hanging fruit.
Right.
Apparently, DC thinks this movie's hitting harder with audiences than Ezra at a karaoke bar. So.
Nice. Yeah, I completely agree. I think, obviously you got to put the movie out, too much writing on it. But it increases the uncertainty of the future for DC.
Yeah.
What increases it the most, I think, is nothing we've talked about yet. It's the fact that as it stands, the person who they have in the position of spearhead is J.J. Abrams. Now, I guess DC's not explicitly saying J.J. Abrams is the guy. They have said Bad Robot is partnering with us to produce and direct and write movies within our space, which sounds to me like saying that J.J. Abrams is the guy. But I have a feeling that they're not actually that happy with what's going on with Abrams. They're actively looking for someone else. And one of those someone else's is Todd Phillips, the director of Joker.
Let's go.
My depression movie. Let's go.
So the reports suggest that David, who is the CEO of Warner, David Zaslav, is looking at Todd Phillips to become the, sort of spearhead of DC and an advisor.
I mean, he made one movie that hit.
I also think he made a film about a cynical film about the franchise's darkest, villain or whatever.
I'm with you.
And made it hit. He didn't make it out of love for the franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The company, the universe, the characters.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Sylv mentions Joker is a unique situation, and I agree. It was kind of a perfect storm. It was like, I have this idea of this character, and literally the idea of the character. It's not really based on anything in the comics or the source material. And I have an actor who I think can nail it. It was a perfect storm of stuff. Can they do that again with a different character? I don't know. I don't know if I want Todd Phillips is Mr. Mixopolitalik. And actually,
Hold on a second.
hold on. As I say that.
Try again.
Yeah.
I would watch the hell out of a Todd Phillips Two-Face movie. I'll tell you that right now.
Sure, that makes sense.
Oh, like
But-
a Joker's Asylum set of solo movies based on rogues. Oh, okay, all right.
Nuts. But I agree that that's not the person. Like, creators create, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that you say, "Oh shit, you made Joker, yeah, make Superman."
You don't see Kevin
there's not a
Feige making a
one-to-one.
movie. You know.
Speaking of, go ahead, Kale.
Well, I think it's the same situation as trying to, that they tried with Nolan and Snyder after the Dark Knight films, right? Like, they were built to be like, what would Batman be like in the real world? And, again, outside of the context of like, no, you have to acknowledge the actual universe and make it work on its own principles and everything, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
also
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's also what DC is. Like Marvel is the world outside your window. That's what Marvel is. DC's not that. DC is its own universe, its own world. I think they need somebody who understands that.
Well, someone who would understand that better than anyone is Kevin Feige. And that's what makes this bombshell so crazy. They're courting Kevin Feige.
Hey, yo.
They got big money now too. WB Discovery,
And I learned something new this week that I didn't know. Kevin Feige was a hair away from signing with DC in the mid 2010s when he was sick to death of the cabal and wanted away. He wanted away so bad that he almost went to the distinguished competition. And now they want him.
I think they missed their chance, honestly.
1,000%. Yeah, he's too invested. He has weight here. Like there's, it's like one of those like upper level management people that are just like, hey, actually no, I'm good here. We're not gonna. I don't see him needing to move. And if they do, they need to give him like, I don't know, just making the presidents or some shit. Like he needs
Of
to,
Earth.
Yeah, like he needs. They need to move sky and earth for him.
Imagine the press release. It's like an NFL draft situation where they give him a DC baseball cap. Because this dude's got a lot of Marvel baseball caps. Like so.
It's like when Bendis jumped. Like that was a big deal. This would shake the earth.
It didn't work out too well, but
well, listen. And look, obviously everybody wants Kevin Feige. They want their Kevin Feige. Warner's like, why don't we just get the Kevin Feige? Forget about all that. Like, I don't want to court someone. I just want to get him.
We don't need Kevin Feige. We got at home,
And I think that is at the core of the conversation about DC. And we've talked about the lack of a Kevin Feige before, but I have a different angle now. I don't think it's worth anyone's time to take that job. I think it's a terrible job opportunity. And I'll explain why before you guys react.
Yeah.
And I clarify quickly.
Yeah.
You don't think it's worth someone taking the helm of a Kevin Feige job at DC?
Yes.
To helm the DC universe, right?
That's like too much of a headache,
right.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a poison pill because you will always be compared to Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige, to this point, is one of one. And DC's expectations of you will be so high that you will have no room for failure. This is something that people don't think about. Kevin Feige has worked in film forever. He's not new to film. He didn't start with Marvel Studios. Kevin Feige, if I remember correctly, was working on Spider-Man back in the day as like I don't even know what his role was, but he's been around is my point. I think he was even working on X-Men. So he has seen and
You're
been
correct.
a part of, to some degree, sorry?
You're correct. He was associate producer on X-Men, Spider-Man, co-producer on X2 and Daredevil.
So there you go. So he's been a part of successes and failures way before Marvel Studios. Nobody else will get that opportunity. That's not the way it works anymore. If you're working on a superhero movie and you're in that type of position, the expectation is that you're going to knock it out of the park. Zack Snyder got chased out of town after how many movies did he make?
4.
He made 3 movies.
Yeah.
He made Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, and Justice League. And it's fair. I'm not arguing with someone who says, well, we just didn't care about his vision. Fair enough. But is that really enough time to determine whether or not, like, Kevin Feige had a lot more than 3 movies to succeed or fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like whoever takes that job will not have the rope that Feige had. No way.
They're not being propped up for success there.
No.
In Feige's filmography is literally just Marvel stuff.
Right.
Since X-Men. It's like any Marvel related property. He even did Man-Thing in 2005. He produced it. Yeah.
That came out in 2005. My God.
Right. Yeah. That came out between Elektra and Spider-Man 2.
Wow. I thought that was like 95.
No, you might be thinking of Swamp Thing, but like Man-Thing was a monster film. Yep. Ooh, boy.
Wait, that came out as a movie?
Yeah, it was like a direct-to-DVD thing, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still, damn.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anyone who should take that job. I don't not that. I don't think there's anyone who could take that job that could do it and not get fired within 5 years.
I think and I think with the way stuff keeps shifting for DC, I think there's no way it could be a stable gig because everybody's going to have a different opinion about what you should be doing.
Yep.
Right.
They dealt with that. They absolutely dealt with that. The Justice League movie that we saw in theaters was an abomination version of Zack Snyder's original vision. Whether you like that or not, that is a fact. And that happened because of executives hawking him and saying, yeah, it has to be a 2-hour movie. No way around it. And saying what he could and couldn't do. That will happen again.
I will say, Warner Discovery, if you're offering, I'll take it. You know, I'll take it even if it's like a month. I'll take the severance pay afterwards. You know, I've read a lot of DC comics. I have a screenwriting degree. Does that help? I have a
no.
I'll lowball you. I'll take it without the severance pay.
I'll take it without the pay. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think as much as the person who would be directing or would be at that helm would be under fire and scrutiny and all this shit, I think if they want to succeed, they either need to reinvent the model, which at this point seems they're too deep in. There's Marvel's model has already worked and there's success there. The content obviously will be different, but I think you need somebody there. Whether or not they're gonna fail, I think they need the time and they need to not have the cabal. And I don't know if the people above whoever would be at the helm are going to be receptive to that. And you would need somebody who comes in, is just like, no shit, this is the way it needs to be done, stands firm and calls them out on their bullshit. And the only downside to that is, well, hey, actually, we don't like the way you're talking to us. Goodbye.
Executives don't want to be called on their bullshit.
Right, exactly. And unless they're willing, like the David Zaslav is willing to be like, okay, actually, let's listen to this dude or this person, whoever it is, then it doesn't matter what they do or who they bring on, because it has to start at that higher level before they can even consider bringing on somebody to want to knock out stuff out of the park.
Well, WB Discovery, if reports are to be believed, are high on Tony Khan and the AEW brands. So let's do Tony Khan. Let's let him book this DC universe. I'm fine with that.
That's hilarious.
CM Punk, not anymore actually.
The other approach that I was thinking was, what if you just continue to give directors a slice of the universe and not make it interconnected yet?
But they've said they're going to do that.
Yeah.
After every movie comes out, and Marvel does something different and better.
Well, I'm saying in the vein of the Joker and Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what they've done after every movie that's come out, but Marvel has done it better.
And the issue too is that, like, I feel like they backed themselves into a corner by ever actually making the Flash.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the Flash happened if you were putting pause on Zack Snyder's universe. Why? What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. And that's the old guard, right? So that has no bearing on, Warner Discovery. It's just a boneheaded decision that they inherited. And I'm not saying that I'm not excited for the Flash. I am. I'm just saying that if you want to go the direction that Marco's talking about, which they have said countless times, you can't make movies that are in that same space. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I do agree someone has to do the job, but Kevin Feige answers to literally one person, and that's Alan Horn, the CCO of
Mickey
Disney.
Mouse. Okay, that makes more sense.
You might be right, but I contend that Feige is God. So there you go. It's a mess, but it's a mess that can land on its feet and then take off to the moon. But it's going to take a lot of work to get to that point.
We can hope.
I'm excited for the spectacle that it's going to be what Flashpoint is. Like, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I thrive on the spectacle of Warner Discovery. I love it. Warner and Sony are fascinating.
You love some drama. You like the tea, as they say, right?
Yes.
Some corporate drama.
Corporate drama.
He's all in on Mom Talk.
Mom Talk.
Oh,
The View?
sorry. No, never mind. It's a whole situation on TikTok.
Oh.
You want to explain that?
There's a group of Mormons that there are influencers that use the hashtag Mom Talk for their content. It was recently revealed that a group of upwards of 10 of them were having orgies and sex parties.
Whoa! What?
And one of the moms in particular went and spilled all the beans, all the tea, just aired dirty laundry about everybody on TikTok.
I know what I'm doing after
hashtag Mom Talk, dude. It is a fucking MOMTOK. A hole, dude. It
Mormon
is a black
orgies.
hole.
How did we get there from DCEU? But whatever.
I can't.
Look at the drama.
When he
He's talking about
started
drama.
that sentence, I could not have imagined that was where he was going to go.
Oh, no, no. I do not associate Mormons with orgies at all.
No.
Oh boy.
Well, that's fascinating. Let us know your thoughts about the future of DC. Do you feel like they're on the right track? I'll end on a positive note. I think that David Zaslav has the right idea to say, press pause, let's evaluate this. Let's not do anything rash. Let's try to find someone. Yeah, okay, maybe they're barking up the wrong trees, but at least they're at the trees, hopefully they find the right one.
Let's not do anything rash as they are about to put out a movie that recontextualizes their whole universe. It's just like Flashpoint coming out. It's just like the worst timing for this type of movie to come out. So I am ready for the mess.
Mm-hmm. What's worse is Marvel has had 2 multiverse films come out.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
In the time that this film was supposed to reintroduce the whole multiverse to modern films.
In a TV show.
I'd argue 3 if you count Into the Spider-Verse.
Sure.
I guess I would argue that's Sony, but yeah, I mean, you're right.
Sure.
And by the way, Flash was supposed to be out before all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's funny how Flash is coming in late.
A little slow on the draw.
It's par for the course for Barry Allen, honestly.
That's, man.
Well, when your star is busy running around being a deviant across Earth, it's a bit of an issue.
Somebody call the Eternals.
Oh man, thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know about your thoughts on Marco eating, finger food with chopsticks.
There it is.
Want to hear about that? Just anything we talked about. Really appreciate everyone who tunes in. Real quick, patreon.com/thecomicspals. We appreciate all your support. You certainly don't have to. The show's free to listen to regardless, but There's a lot of cool stuff over there, like an exclusive show, Palling Around. You can get yourself a snazzy nickname, superhero or supervillain nickname here on the show. And our newsletters, which, we are proud of and think are really cool, and other stuff that's coming. We have a lot of ideas, and we're going to keep iterating, and we want to make it a place that you guys feel is worth being. So there's that. Join our Discord server. We've had a lot of great comments come in here today. All those people pretty much are on our Discord. So if you enjoy them and their interaction here and you want to be a part of that, join our Discord. I'm very proud, and I think I speak for all of us. We're very, very proud of our Discord. We have great people. We've curated a really cool group there, and we're happy about it. So join us over there, youtube.com/thecomics-pals. Subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. All that's free, and it helps us out a lot more than it costs you. Don't forget our next book club, Uncanny Avengers, as voted by Patreon members. That is Rick Remender and several artists, Daniel Acuna and others. It's great. Check it out, and then listen to our book club on Tuesday. Let's get into the plugs. Kale.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Comics Pals. Come talk to me about your favorite sandwich topping and why ketchup on butter is absolutely disgusting and this country is a hole in the ground. You can find me and my work at kaleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. You can find me on Instagram with great pictures of my dog at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. Also, fucking Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Ooh.
Rocking in with Lechonk. Let's
yeah.
fucking go.
They got that legendary Pokemon that looks like a big old pee-pee, so.
Yeah.
The legendary
And
Pokemon
also
is actually
Lechonk is the legendary Pokemon.
Marco.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Marco Enomoto. Shout out to Kale's mug. Kale, can you pull that up real quick?
It's the second compliment I've gotten on this mug.
Dude,
sick.
Wait, do the other side.
It's the same.
Wait,
Oh,
is that
wait,
It's
is
a
it-
heat changing mug.
Oh, damn, it changed.
Oh, I've only
Okay.
seen it hot. Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's like a
Damn.
who's that Pokemon sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, except it says who.
But yeah, I mean, could be
But if you
Raichu.
want your own mug, you can go get the Comics Pals store to get one with our faces on it rather than Pikachu talking about Pokemon.
There you go.
And what else? Come talk to me about Letterkenny and Shorzy, tit fuckers.
Shorzy's out, right? How's that show?
It's excellent. It's so good. It's so fucking good, dude. I love it.
Get this dude a puppers.
Come talk to me about that.
Tyler.
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. If you guys have any good bathroom related memes, let me know. I'm trying to decorate my new apartment, and I have an idea for the bathroom. I'm just gonna have a one piece of art that I'm gonna switch out every so often. I have the scene of Harry from Dumb and Dumber taking a big old shit. That's gonna be in my bathroom. If you ever seen Dumb and Dumber, great movie. And I also have the meme of Shadow the Hedgehog where it just says "nice cock." Like that's probably gonna be hanging in my bathroom too.
Yep.
So if you have any ideas of bathroom related memes,
Harris has the Ace Ventura coming out of the Rhino.
oh, that could be good. That could be good. That might have to,
that's
I might have to have it
nuts.
one if you're sitting down on the toilet facing you. So the Shadow the Hedgehog one's gonna be like if you're facing the toilet. So a little.
Have you seen the? It's like there's a YouTube video about there's a particular karaoke restaurant, I think it is in Japan, where
Ezra's on his way or on their
when
way.
you sit on the toilet, there's a great big face that sings a really haunting song.
No.
as
Don't
it-
want
as it
that.
comes at you while you're sitting on the toilet.
Oh fuck.
It's insane. I'll put the link in the
No,
Discord.
thank you. I'm good. Don't want to see that.
It's nuts.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Right now, I'm just thankful to have the show. That's about it. So thanks for listening.
That's about it.
Yeah. And until next week, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.